Get me that signal. We need more power.
Meanwhile, in a secret location, the Hall of Despair hatches an evil plan. Order! Order! I call this meeting of the Hall of Despair to order. Sadly, we have been forced to move the hall to the suburbs, but I'm still glad you all agreed to join me, the Egyptologist,
Dun, dun, dun.
in an all-new effort to take control of the city. Aside from such classic villains as the Egg, Smog, and Mr. Kurds, we are getting the assistance of some new criminal masterminds, including Mr. Sinister, Apocalypse, Strife, Kingpin, and Mephisto. Yes, Mephisto. They have come up with 8 brand new evil schemes that they plan to launch. As always, we will make ourselves available to provide evil support, because these new masterminds have attracted the attention of 17 new heroes. You can expect to run across the likes of the Punisher, Ghost Rider, Nightcrawler, Daredevil, Professor X, and others. We're calling our new plan Dark City. I do have this public enemy service message to give you some details about how things have changed since the original version of the game. It is referred to as the game in order to hide our plans from our enemies. Huh? The game says there is a darkness rising in the world of Legendary, a Marvel deck-building game. Dark City, the first expansion to Legendary, a Marvel deck-building game, brings an entirely new level of play to the critically acclaimed card game, Marvel Legendary Dark City deck-building game. In Dark City, players can use any of the new heroes, including Cable, Professor X, I've always tried to get Cable, and Blade to face off against all new villain groups such as the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse and the Mutant Liberation Front. Dark City also features 8 new schemes and 5 incredibly tough all-new masterminds for players to try and defeat. It is up to you to defeat evil and become legendary. Now, let's take a closer look at what this game has to offer. Alright, you already know how to play the game, right? We're here to look at this new expansion. So, let's take a look at the new cards. First of all, there are new global mastermind abilities. For example, Mr. Sinister gets +1 attack for each bystander he kidnaps, and he kidnaps 1 with each master strike. With Mephisto, every time a player gains a wound, he must place it on top of his draw deck, rather than in his discard pile. The bystanders aren't just generic anymore either. This expansion introduces 3 new kinds of bystanders. When you rescue a reporter, you get to draw a card. Rescuing a radiation scientist lets you KO a hero from your discard pile. When you rescue a paramedic, you can KO a wound in your hand or any player's discard pile. Also introduced in Dark City are new critical hit superpowers. These are powers on certain hero cards that add a big boost to a card's power. These powers are identified by 2 symbols on the card instead of 1, if you can see it here. And you need to play 2 cards with these symbols before you can use the critical hit. So this is Bishop's Concussive Blast card, and you can see the 2 ranged hero symbols at the bottom. If you play 2 other ranged hero cards before you play this one, you get the +3 attack bonus. And that's how critical hits work. There are 2 new hero groups introduced in the expansion, X-Force and Marvel Knights. This is why you'll see the new Wolverine cards in this set, because it's the X-Force version of Logan. The expansion is a bit X-Men heavy, as it contains Bishop, Nightcrawler, Jean Grey, Iceman, Professor X, and Angel. Combined with the original set, you've got quite the X-Men squad going on there. So in the X-Force squad, you'll see Wolverine, Forge, Domino, Cable, and Colossus. And the Marvel Knights include Blade, Punisher, Iron Fist, Ghost Rider, Daredevil, and Elektra. Now, these are some of my favorite heroes in this set of cards, so let's look at a few of them. And there's also a few new keywords in this set, so we'll see those as well. First up is Ghost Rider. As you can see, the text at the top can still be difficult to read at times, but as you can also see, there is different artwork on each of Ghost Rider's 4 card types. That's consistent with the entire set. Each hero has 4 different pieces of artwork, rather than just the one like you got in the base game. In the case of Ghost Rider's art, I don't like it. He's such a cool looking character. I guess it's just a matter of taste. I think Upper Deck should take a page from Wizards of the Coast and include the artist's name on their artwork. After all, art is everything in a game about comic book superheroes. His rare card doesn't look too bad. And look at this wild ability. Each player KOs a villain from their victory pile, and you gain +1 attack for each KO'd villain this way. So bye-bye victory points. Now, here's Daredevil, another favorite of mine. Artwork on this one is great, in my opinion. Daredevil's rare card, let's see, where is it? Daredevil's rare card says, choose a number, then reveal the top card of your deck. If the card is that cost, draw it and repeat this process. This might be sweet if you stack the deck with similar cost cards. So, one of Colossus cards has proved pretty useless to me so far. It's his most common card, and it has an attack of 3 for a cost of only 1. But you gain a wound every time you use it. Pass. There's some nice artwork on Blade. He's got a card that can be used to attack and recruit if you defeat a villain in certain locations. His rare card can be pretty powerful. You get +1 attack for every villain in your victory pile. Punisher's artwork isn't bad, but he kind of looks more like Clark Kent than the Punisher, especially here on his rare card. The ability on his rare card is entirely luck-based, but you'll get at least the +2 attack out of it, making it a 6 strength attack minimum, which is okay. I don't like Nightcrawler's artwork at all. I've seen him drawn so much cooler looking. He has a new ability though. It's called Teleport. A card with a teleport ability can be set aside instead of playing it. And then you can add it to your hand at the end of your turn, giving you an extra card. 3 of NC's cards have teleport and the other has a critical hit ability. His rare card allows you to teleport up to 4 cards from your hand to the next turn, which is really sweet. Iceman here almost looks like he's from a Saturday morning cartoon. So I'm not impressed with his artwork at all. All his abilities come into play when you have a lot of ranged heroes in your deck. So look at that. So it's good to plan ahead when using Iceman. Forge here, I've never even heard of. His artwork isn't bad, and he has the second new ability in the game called Versatile. If I can find it, there it is. You can choose whether to use them for recruiting or for attack when you play them. Forge's Overdrive card, which you're looking at, shows a versatile of 3, so you can choose to either attack or recruit with a strength of 3. And check out his rare card power. Defeat the Mastermind once for free if you've already played 2 of those symbol cards. That's his critical hit power. Kinda nice, huh? Yeah. Not bad at all. Let's move on to the villains. My favorite of the new group is the Underworld. Not really for any other reason than the fact that Lilith, the daughter of Dracula, looks pretty hot. Who, unlike her father, who looks like an aging vampire biker dude. His ambush power is excellent, though. He captures the top hero of the hero deck and gains attack power equal to that hero's cost, in addition to the 3 that he starts with. So it's kind of like you might either catch him at night or during the day, and so his power varies. Blackheart looks pretty cool, but his ambush power is that he causes the person to your right to gain a wound, and his fight effect and escape effect is the same. So you could attack him with no intention of winning just to give another player a wound. Not very nice, and I have a difficult time reconciling that thematically. Other villain decks include the Emissaries of Evil, featuring classic Spidey foes like Electro and Rhino. The MLF, yes, I said MLF, stands for Mutant Liberation Force. I had to look that one up, actually. Has some interesting mechanics. For example, to fight Forearm, you need 4 different heroes in your hand. Ouch! He might be escaping a lot. The Streets of New York villain set is where you will find the last new keyword, right here on Tombstone. The Bribe keyword means that you can fight this villain with any combination of recruitment and or attack points. So what it really means is that they're pretty easily defeated. Ha! Did you see those attack amounts? Tombstone has 8 and Jigsaw has 11, so they might use up your entire hand to beat them. There are the Marauders to contend with as well, but the final standout villain set is the 4 Horsemen. A nasty set of cards, especially when paired with Apocalypse, as they all get +2 attack when paired with Apocalypse. If all 4 horsemen manage to escape, then Apocalypse automatically wins. The worst is Death, who forces you to KO a hero in your hand that costs more than 1, and that could hurt. Finally, we haven't talked about the schemes yet. Take a look at Save Humanity. 24 bystanders in the hero deck. Special rules. You can spend 2 recruitment points to rescue a bystander from the headquarters. The twist. You KO all bystanders in the headquarters. Then each player reveals a hero or KOs a bystander from their victory pile. Evil wins when the number of bystanders KO and or carried off is 4 times the number of players. This could be pretty tough depending on when the twists start to come out. Steal the weaponized plutonium. This has 8 twists representing plutonium, and you add an extra villain group. The plutonium is captured by the closest villain to the villain deck when a twist is revealed. If there's no villains in the city, you KO the plutonium. Either way, you play another card from the villain deck. Each villain gets +1 attack for each plutonium he has. When a villain with any plutonium is defeated, shuffle that plutonium back into the villain deck. Evil wins when 4 plutonium have been carried off by the villains. You know, this one really did kick my butt. The plutonium keeps recycling back into the villain deck, and it proved pretty tough to beat. Here's an interesting one. Capture Baby Hope. The villain with the baby gets +4 attack. If you defeat that villain, rescue the baby to your victory pile until the next twist appears. The baby is worth 6 victory points at the end of the game. If a villain escapes with a baby, stack a twist card next to the mastermind and return the baby to the scheme card. Evil wins when there are 3 twists stacked next to the mastermind. So, if the kid gets carried off 3 times, you lose. Once or twice is okay, but that 3rd time, hey, we've had enough of that. There's the Detonate the Helicarrier card. Or the Organized Crime Wave card. And there's a few others. I thought for the most part that the schemes were very original and have been pretty fun to play. Some are definitely easier than others, but they're all cool. That's a pretty good overview of the entire set from Legendary Dark City. Here are a couple of card notes to help you out when you're playing Dark City. Don't use Black Widow's deck when you have Mr. Sinister as the mastermind. Reason being, his Master Strike is to capture a bystander, while Black Widow's high power card allows her to automatically defeat a mastermind with a bystander. Sure, it won't come up often, but when it does, it makes for a game that isn't very fun. Next, Vertigo's villain card says, each player discards all of the cards in their hand, then draws as many cards as they discarded. It doesn't say if it's a fight effect or an ambush effect or what. Upper Deck says it's a misprint and that it's supposed to be a fight effect. Unfortunately, this makes no sense and can be used by the person doing the fighting to their benefit while screwing over everybody else. So I'm calling this as an ambush card, which makes thematically the most sense. Try playing it as a fight effect and you'll see what I mean. One of the things I liked was that they have new advanced solo play rules to balance out the requirements of the new cards in the expansion. Legendary is one of the few deck building games that I have played that have proved to be pretty challenging when playing solo. And you don't need to pretend to have extra players. Yes, no extra players. Adding the expansion adds new options, and so far they've avoided the problem of complexity creep. They will need to watch for this in future expansions, as with many games, the desire to keep making the game feel fresh leads to rules and card interactions that are so complicated that they're impossible to figure out. There's no sign of that yet, so all is well. They gave up the plastic insert in the box for foam separators, but they didn't include any additional card dividers. So we got these nice little foam separators here. Woo! So we don't have enough dividers for the expansion, and I'm not really sure what they expect us to do with all the new cards. Maybe they just don't care. Well, maybe there's a master plan, a scheme, if you will. My biggest beef with the game, though, hasn't changed. There's no randomizers for the heroes. So here is my suggestion to Upper Deck. put together a smartphone app, and don't forget to make it for Android too, okay, that functions as a randomizer for the cards. There, problem solved and a time saver when setting up the game. If you like Legendary, then there isn't any reason you would not want to pick up the expansion. There's more heroes and masterminds than in the original game. Dark City doubles your cards and options for Legendary and adds some fun new schemes and masterminds to defeat. Upper Deck is also offering up more original artwork per hero, so you know that they pay attention to the feedback from their players. Legendary is still one of the best superhero games out there, and I'm looking forward to the Fantastic Four mini expansion that's coming up this fall. Thanks for joining me for this review of the Dark City expansion to Legendary, the Marvel deck building game from Upper Deck Entertainment. Let me know if you found this review helpful by leaving a comment or sending me an email at elliott_miller@voiceofe.com. Make sure to subscribe to the Voice of E channel on YouTube, as I'll have plenty of gaming, entertainment, and comic book coverage this year, and it should be a lot of fun. Thanks again, and until next time, keep your mind free.
Get me that 6. We need more power.